are live. Welcome, everybody. Rajiv ji is with us. He's our US immigration lawyer. And we do this every Saturday, 6 a.m. Right now it's 6:18. I'm 18 minutes late. It's my fault today. I did work out late.
Always, always your.
It is always my fault. That is true. And another thing is that last time everyone is like, Yudi, you look like you just woke up. So yes, I just woke up because it is 6 a.m. on Saturday. But welcome everybody. Rajiv ji, what's happening new in the world of immigration? Anything? Any new updates on H1B third lottery or since we last spoke?
No, there is no such news. But remember the gentleman who was asking me about last week about are we having a meeting today? Um,
Yeah.
I forgot his first name. Last name is Patel. So he sent me a link uh, from I think it was the consulates in India, which seems
Mm.
to indicate that remember they were going to do visa revalidation within the United States.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks like from that link, at least it looks like the start of that program is being pushed to first quarter of next year. I
Hmm.
have no official information about that, but it when you read the notification from the Indian consulates, by the way, it mentioned somewhere that oh yeah, beginning next year we'll have
Next year.
this
Yeah,
program for visa revalidations.
yeah.
That's the
And,
only.
and
Other than that, the only news we have is your leg day. So every time you do your leg day,
uh,
you have to be
Friday.
probably in a wheelchair.
Ye- Yeah, Fridays are my intentional like this because then I have Saturdays and there's a gap. So, um, but
But really, are you training too hard? Because yeah, you should be. I think you should be tired, but not fatigued. So I mean, I don't know what
uh,
the training philosophy is. There are so many types of trainings now.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's not like that hard, like where I can't just wake up. But it's just sore, which is muscle soreness in general. But it's not like can't wake up. I think it's like the weekend and Saturday, so all gets mixed up and yeah. But I love this hour, so let's go. There is no other questions yet, so I'm waiting for people to ask a
so
question, which we just got one. I have just stamped my cap approved H1B with employer A, and I have not traveled or used employer B, where I currently work is the planning to send on L1. When I go L1 interview, will I get both CWOP and revoke?
CWOP, what do you think that means? That means a kind of a revocation. So cancel without prejudice simply means we are canceling this visa, not because you did something wrong, but because that's our procedure and you can
Hmm.
always reapply for it. So it's the same thing as revocation. You're asking me, is half a dozen the same as six? And the answer is yes.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Okay. As an F1 student on a first year OPT, can I apply for DV lottery for green card? I was born in Middle East. Will it affect my STEM OPT application later?
So I don't do DV lotteries. I did only one DV lottery case in 33 years of my practice, and that too in the beginning when I thought, well, we should do this, and then I realized you don't need a lawyer for this.
Hmm.
So I'm not an expert by any means. What I would like you to do is check on the consulate website, any consulate or State Department. It should say, and don't take my word for it, it should say that merely applying for DV lottery doesn't mean that you have violated your terms of student visa. Even though it is a green card, it is the kind of a green card that should not be considered to be violative of your F1. As far as I know, please have this double check. Don't take my word for it.
Okay. Today we have slow on comments. I should have got.
Oh,
I
slow is
got.
good. Slow
Yeah.
is good. I still want to know about your training philosophy. So how are they
Um,
training you? You have an Indian guy.
yeah, it's an Indian guy, and we do. So Mondays usually, like, we have chest and triceps, and then we have back and biceps, and then we have shoulders and core, and
How long? How
then
long is the workout?
45 minutes. Uh,
And you're doing it 4 days a week, upper body.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. And then
yeah.
the day you can't move, that's the
The Friday is like lower body. Yeah, Friday is
45
legs day.
minutes, 45 minutes working on the lower body.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
how,
not like just like legs. It's a compound. There's a lot of compound movements, like squats is there, lunges are there, and
are you doing any kettlebell?
uh, not the kettlebell swings, but I mean, it depends. Like, if he keeps changing on it. Like, it's if it is there in the routine, then he might add it. But some of it might be there. But also, we might do like hip thrust or the kettlebell swings. It's either or. Then we might also do like kickbacks.
How about cardio and flexibility?
No, that is homework. Like, after the weight workouts are done, then I have to just like either go run, walk, jog. So that's like part of my day, but not with him.
And flexible. Can you touch your toes?
Not yet, but I should be soon. Like, we do stretches, like, yeah, stretches is the last 10 minutes. So it's total 1 hour, but 45 minutes is workout and then 10 minutes is stretches.
Okay. It shouldn't, the only thing, only uh, must be very, yeah, Arjun. So typically, the routine that I recommend, I would say 2 days body weight exercises instead of relying only on free weights and dumbbells and kettlebell. One day, I would say um, compound exercises using free weights,
Hmm.
and then 2 days in between cardio. But the day you do cardio, and you should be hit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
the day you do cardio, you shouldn't do any other workout. Just go for a walk, go for a long walk.
Hmm. Hmm.
So a lot of people are recommending zone two, which is when you can talk, uh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
zone two for an hour. I don't have an hour,
yeah,
so I think hit works for me. Go in, 15 minutes later, you're out.
yeah, yeah.
So
True, true. Yes. That, yeah, so I think that's gonna come like in coming weeks. We're
so hit
gonna,
has to be sort of like this, like you have the lion after you. So it's gonna eat you. It's kind that's kind of what the hit intensity should
yeah,
be. Almost
yeah, yeah,
80%, 90% of your max.
right. Yes.
So
Yeah. That's is that your secret to stay young?
no, it's not. I don't think it's. I've exercised all my life, but
Mm.
I taught yoga. I did yoga.
Mm.
But the one that
Nice.
I like, if you were to ask me about meditative exercise, Tai Chi is my favorite. Qigong and Tai Chi. Uh,
Mm.
the Chinese have it right. Yoga is good, but I've never seen anything like Tai Chi. It's amazing.
Mm. Mm.
And it does not matter how fit you are. You could be absolutely, you know, not fit to do any exercise, but you can still do Tai Chi and Qigong. Movements are very simple.
Yeah. I'm gonna be joining martial arts next Friday. So starting next Friday.
You're gonna go jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good martial art.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome. Someone is saying I've turned on subscriber. I think that is the feature to get the
Are you
types
making
timestamp.
people pay for your
No,
time?
no, 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 no. It's not the payment. I think they. So if I want to use that timestamps, then it has to go through that subscriber mode. So people can't send me questions. I guess that's why we are getting less questions. But makes sense. I don't know how to turn it off right now.
There are
But
actually third-party services who also do the same thing.
hmm, hmm, okay. My employer is not initiating my green card process. I have left with another 2 years of H1B. You please? Could you please? How do I proceed? I'm worried.
Change employers. That's the most commonsensical thing to do. Unless you qualify for EB1A or NIW, where you do not
Hmm.
need an employer. I Mr. Kumar, I don't think you have a choice but to change employers.
Mm,
I would
I
be worried.
fixed.
It's good. I
Yeah.
think you're right, rightly worried.
Is it too less of a time for 2 years to
Well,
look for another
I need,
visas?
for an individual to be safe, I need about 1 year, 8 months.
Mm,
About 1 year, a little bit more. So 2 years, he's sitting right at the edge.
yeah.
Otherwise, there'll
Yeah.
be some gap, maybe in his employment somewhere
Yeah.
along the line.
Yeah. My first year OPD expires on December 11th, 2023. I'm planning to travel to India on December 14th and return on January 19th. I'm hoping that my STEM OPD will be approved by time I return.
So
Hmm.
I have never really addressed this particular question. If you go to my blog
Hmm.
on immigration.com, on the top ribbon, you'll see Rajiv's blog. About the fourth or the fifth page, it talks about travel while you're on student status. And I have an infographic, but I don't think I covered this situation. And this actually came out, I think, last week also. Um, my recommendation was try not to travel. The reason is if there's an RFE or something while you're gone, it could be problematic for you. But do check with your school. What do they recommend? I would go with whatever the DSO says if I were you.
Hmm. Is this the
Yes, Bhautik, yeah. Yeah, Bhautik, you yourself sent me that link that said, well, we're going to postpone it to next year. I mean, we don't have any official news one way or the other. The link that you sent me, by the way, thank you for that. The link that you sent me on LinkedIn, that link seemed to suggest that they are postponing it to next year. So I don't know. We'll see. By the way, don't think that they are going to include the first time visa stamping. They may not,
yeah.
because it could be just like it used to be visa revalidation, not new visas. So we'll see
Hmm.
how it goes.
Yeah. We already answered that. Just started earning through my on campus job. I've also received my SSN. Wanted to get started with investing through Robinhood. Still worrying about is it legal?
Robinhood, the robber, or Robinhood some service? I don't know what Robinhood is.
It's just a stock brokerage platform.
Well, if you see, Parth, this is the way I see. Every time I call somebody Parth, I feel like Lord Krishna. Uh,
Why?
because Arjun, he called Arjun Parth. Na?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Everybody, everybody, I say Parth, I feel like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think if you do day trading, that could be problematic. But if you do long term investing, why should that be a problem?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not employment. That's putting your money and the money making you money.
Yeah. Not sure if it is relevant here. I have a login in the old portal in the US visa website. Do I need to create a new login in the new website? There's a new
I have,
website?
it should be this. They should be migrated over. I don't know because we don't use those portals very much, Sai. So,
Wait, which portal is he talking
so he's
about?
talking about the USCIS portal.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I think it should be the same login. I don't believe they've changed the backend.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. If we upgrade a regular petition to premium after getting receipt, within how many days can we expect a decision?
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer because now there are several shades of premium processing. There used to be only one that took 15 days, but now there's 15 day, 30 day, 45 days. So it all depends. But once the premium processing is received by the USCIS, the clock begins. So whatever
Hmm.
that time is.
Hmm. Chai is feels like we've seen him around.
Yeah,
Chai
it's the
or her.
harang face.
Yeah. LCA working status and whether LCA working status and
It's rather with the WHETHER.
whether any official statement from their end or need to wait for some more time. I think that I don't see any other questions. So
So I don't understand what this is.
sorry, Suresh. Maybe reframe your
Please
question.
be a little bit more explicit. I need to know more.
I completed my master's from the USA, and I am currently working in a company. They are filing my I-140. So, will I fall under EB2 or EB3 category?
Shasab, just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you fall under a particular category. If you have a master's degree or bachelor's plus 5 years experience after bachelor's, you could potentially fall under EB2 category if the employer requires those kind of qualifications. So if you have a master's degree, but the employer only requires a bachelor's for the job, you'll be under EB3 category. So qualifying for EB2 or EB3 is a combination of the job requirement and your qualifications.
Yeah. Okay. OPT expired, changed to day one CPT. Is it safe to travel to India?
Nobody knows. I've had people go to India and come back on CPT. But I think getting visa stamping is definitely complicated. But Customs and Border Protection is not necessarily giving people trouble. But I don't know. I keep hearing this rumor about 25 people. These 25 people I've never seen who were turned around, don't turn back at the airport.
Uh, yeah.
But, you know,
They reached, one of them reached out to me. I think they probably were watching our session and they said they don't mind coming. And then I responded back, like, just let us know which Saturday. And
we would like to understand what happened. Padmaji, you may want to ask other students who are in similar situation, see what they say. I
yeah,
personally don't see why not. But
yeah,
visa stamping is problematic. But I can't predict what's going to happen at the Customs and Border Protection.
yeah. All right. Follow up question. If cancel with prejudice on H1B, can I use it as a cap exempt and outside lottery?
I think you've been talking to me on LinkedIn too. Your questions sound familiar. So the answer is the same that I gave you. Even if they revoked without prejudice, you are now exempt from the lottery
Hmm.
for the
Hmm.
next 6 years.
How long does it take to get travel document after filing I-140?
Now, you don't get a travel document filing I-140, Umi. You have to file I-485. Travel documents right now are taking about 11 months.
What's travel document?
Advance parole.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Um, I think I did that too.
I did.
Okay. All right. On F1 OPD, fully remote job, have reported worksite address as office address when I started my employment and just recently changed it to my home address when I got to know from DSO. Okay.
Yeah, you
Oh,
should be. You should
uh,
be. Yeah.
will it impact my STEM OPD application next year?
I don't know, Guptaji. I don't know whether it's going to be a problem or not. Um, I would do is I would check with the DSO if there can be a data fix made on the address, and they can communicate with SEVIP so that your service can be adjusted. Sounds like we're talking Latin, right? SEVIP, service, DSO. So, but you know what I mean.
USCIS.
Talk to your DSO, see if there can be a data fix.
Hmm.
That would remove the problem altogether.
Yeah. I got my visa stamp for fall 2023, but later decided not to go because I received an admit from top university from for spring
Hmm.
2024 intake. I need a new visas. I'm
No,
gonna.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't think it's going to be a problem because there's a legitimate reason for it. Hopefully, the government doesn't create a problem, the consulate. I personally think this is a very genuine reason. If you're going to a better school, it only shows that you are a genuine student, and you already obtained the F1, so they should give you the F1 again.
So she does or he does need
Oh,
another
they do
visa.
need a new visa, yeah,
Okay.
because the first time you enter, if I remember the regulation correctly, the name on the I-20 and the name on the visa should be the same. So if the I-20 says Stanford, your visa should also say Stanford. You can't enter with Stanford I-20 and Harvard visa. After that, after first time you enter, it's not a problem. But first time
Hmm.
you enter, that's how it has to be.
Hmm. Got it. Do you think it'll be worth waiting for pilot program to get your visa stamped until next year, or go ahead and book appointment at the Indian consulate for visa stamping?
It's It's like gambling on a horse race. I have no inside information, but
But
previous
also,
program,
I'm
previous
assuming.
program, yeah, did not
Sorry.
allow you first time stamping within USA. You still had to go outside. I don't know what this year's program would look like or the next year's program.
Yeah, you read my mind.
No, I kind of knew what you were going to say.
Um, Bautik is back. When does it become safe to change employers after I-140 is approved? By safe, I mean priority date is yours to keep and no revocation from old employer can affect that.
No, priority date is yours the day your I-140 is approved. So even if your employer revokes the I-140 the following day, your priority date is safe. But if you also want to maintain the right to keep extending your H-1B beyond 6 years, then the I-140 should remain unrevoked for 180 days. So you could
Hmm.
leave. I mean, you could leave 3 days later, but the I-140 remains unrevoked. You are safe. So the point is 180 days should pass.
Okay. Oh, we already answered that. How many days can we stay in United States after STEM OPT expires?
60 days if you are on F1, 60.
I didn't know that. So wait, just going back 60 days after, and this is not, is this the grace period you're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm on H4 EAD and working in a bank. Personal issues. My H4 will not be renewed anymore. I did not get picked in this year's lottery. Any chance of third lottery? What are my other options?
What are your other options, Sadhna ji? Same as everybody else, you can look into converting to F1 if you want to go to school. I don't know what your resume looks like. If you had an extraordinary resume, top 10% in the country, you could look into something like O1. So, other than that, there are not very many options. Now, if there's any chance of domestic problems that rise to the level of criminality, any kind of physical abuse on which a complaint was filed, you can also look at U visa, U as in university.
Hmm. Okay. Is it okay to rely on premium EAD card, only on premium EAD card? I graduate in December, but I don't have a job yet, so I might stay back in school for another quarter.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah. Um, do pilots are eligible for H-1B visa or any other work visa?
Maybe H2B visa, but if you are India born, H1B or Indian citizen, H1B, H2B is not available for you.
Hmm.
See, pilots don't need a specific degree. We've been struggling with this for decades. Even commercial airline pilots who are flying 400 people, no degree is required.
So people who are coming for aerospace have, I mean, I guess
They're not pilots; they're engineers.
you didn't let me complete the statement. Uh,
Maybe. Okay, complete.
so they work in the like airspace industry. Do they need like the security clearance to work in there or
Well, not if you are working on non
government
critical
stuff?
or security jobs. So, I mean, there are plenty of people in the aeronautics engineering arena who have zero clearances because they don't need clearances. So, by
Hmm.
itself, the aeronautics industry is not, or aviation industry is not secret or protected. But if you were working on a government program, if you were building, I don't know, stealth aircraft, then of course
Hmm.
you would have a problem.
Yeah. It's very fascinating, aerospace engineering to me. H1B got picked on second lottery. My employer filed for LCA approval, but LCA is not currently work.
Why is it not working? It would not be working if there was a government shutdown. We are good till November, and you
Mm,
can't do an H1B without LC. I don't know what we discussed last week, brother. I barely remember my name from last week. So, I talk to a lot of people,
Yeah,
literally hundreds of people in a week. So there's no way I can remember unless something sticks in my memory as being unique. So,
like me.
well, you and your everybody's asking me about your leg days these days. Is UD going to open or are we going to have a leg day again?
Yeah, I know. Uh,
So yeah, sir, I still don't understand because the LCS are working. I don't know why they would. I mean, if we had a if we had a closeout, then we would have a problem. We didn't have a closeout. So
yeah.
their data
Uh,
is old.
if it takes 11 months, how long does it take to get green card after filing I-485, and can premium processing help with timing?
Well, there is no premium processing of 485. So 485 employment-based 485s can go one of the two ways. Assuming that your dates are current, judging by your name, you are not India born. Congratulations, smart move. If your dates are current, there's no backup, then there are two processing times. One for sure, the other one maybe. The for sure processing time is what does it take for the government to process the I-485. So let's say that's 8 months or 10 months or 12 months. Times are available online. Okay. So then you are done in 12 months. But there is a variable. If they set you up for an interview, then they want to call you to the local office of USCIS. That local office could have any waiting time anywhere between 6 to 8 months to 3 years.
Hmm.
So that can be added on to your processing time. So it all depends. Normally, they are not, these days, they are not interviewing employment based cases mostly, but they still can.
My company is willing to send me on site. I have the question that, am I allowed to switch jobs once I'm in the US? If yes, what is the time period I have to wait in order to switch from my current
Mr.
company?
Rahman, you leave us in suspense. We don't know what your visa status is.
Yeah,
So, what visa are you coming on? B1, H1, L1, O1, E2? I mean, I don't know what visa you are coming on. E3.
yeah, yeah. I'm on L1A. My employer don't want to apply for green card using EB1C. Can I use my petition lawyer, or is there any other way?
EB1C is the employer's petition. Unless the employer says yes, we can't prepare the petition.
Mm.
Amigo de la familia emisora.
Huh? You
So
you do have that Spanish
my
accent.
Spanish is muchas gracias, amigo.
No, but
Gusto.
it's the tongue rolling part of it.
Yeah.
There's people, amigo da de la, see, like I would speak as if it's English
Because
versus,
you're
yeah.
Gujarati, that's the problem.
And then obviously, yeah. I'm a senior QA
Um,
manager.
you know, it there is a little bit of a chance that you might qualify under EB1A category. Um, because if you're a senior person and your salary is very high and you supervise other people and critical work for your company or some other companies in the past, you might be able to qualify for an EB1A. But that's definitely not guaranteed. It's always a chance. Even the best EB1A. By the way, we are doing so many EB1A cases: EB1A, EB1C, EB1B, and national interest waivers. These are going crazy
Hmm.
simply because I think partly because the waiting time is better. For NIW, rest of the world, it makes sense. So these cases have become quite the vogue these days.
Hmm.
Palm has fallen
Hmm.
behind comparatively.
Hmm.
So yeah, you might
Eh,
qualify for an EB1A. Have a lawyer look at your case. No harm.
okay. Are there new visa openings? Can't
I
answer
don't think
that.
so. There should be because they frontline the F1 visas.
Yeah. Premium processing of EAD card.
I still don't understand the question. I kind of remember what you said. Is it okay to rely on premium processing EAD card? So I think what you're saying is if my green card, if my EAD gets approved, I will be losing time because I won't have a job. Now that's a balance you have to strike. So you got to get together with your DSO. They usually help you work out the timelines. And remember, first year of OPT, you can even do a job without pay. So you could talk to your college professors also, as long as the job is at least 20 hours each week. So
Hmm.
two conversations with your professors to see if they can assign you a project, and then give you a letter saying that you work 20 hours, and two with your DSO to figure out the timing of your EAD application. So
Yeah.
there are three time periods as I remember. Time period of the approval of the EAD. You have to apply
Wait,
30
what
days
is that?
30 days before graduation, 90 days after graduation, and you have to file within 30 days of the I-20 approval by the DSO. These are all these times you are working with.
Hmm. Did you install Mac OS?
Yeah,
New Mac?
yeah. What are you getting? Are you getting something?
Yeah, yeah. There was like a thumbs up thing. I don't know how it came up, but
I don't turn on any. Oh well.
but like the OS, it works with any of the webcam feature, right? So yeah,
I
it's
always look at what the new features are. I
yeah,
like to know my machines. These are my tools. I got to know my machines.
nice. Only if people would think like you.
You have to. I mean, these are just like. Can you imagine a surgeon not knowing how to use a knife? What they call a scalpel. If you can, it's
Yeah,
for us. These are our
yeah,
tools of trade.
right, right. Considering the current H-1B situation, should I start planning to move out from US in 3 years? I'm graduating by end of this
No,
fall
no,
instead.
Gautam, it depends. Like today, I was reading in the news there were like 300,000 openings in cybersecurity. So it's a very odd situation. On one hand, students are telling me it's becoming difficult to find a job. Employers are telling me we can't find people. So I don't know where the truth lies. Is it that the employers are looking for something fresh graduates don't have, or is it that there is a lack of stability in the market and employers are hesitating to hire fresh talent? I don't know what's going on, but
I
I
think
do.
he's referring to the H-1B situation, not the
That's what
market.
I'm saying. H1B situation, I understand, but you got to keep trying for H1 every year. And you have a STEM degree, so you have three shots at getting through. And if you have a master's degree, your chances are 10 plus percent, almost 16% better than others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why is USCIS taking so long to approve H-1B?
Man, that why is $1 million question. Um, I always talk about that case we filed against the government. There was
Yeah.
a class action we filed many years ago. I used to have a little bit more time then,
Mm,
and we had a couple of lawyers who were helping me. So I said, "Yeah, let's sue the government. They've been, they were taking so long to approve 485s." So when I had
mm,
there's a deposition, right? So um, USCIS sent somebody who can answer my questions, one of their senior officers. So their operations manager, I don't know what their official title was, I forget. He was a guy with a French name. He may have been from Louisiana. So as he's sitting across um, the the table from me, um, there are lawyers from the USCIS side. There's a court reporter and a couple of us on this side. So I asked him. I said, "Sir, why does it take so long to process 485?" He says, "Well, so long is a subjective criterion. They don't like to answer questions." I said, "Okay, let's do this. In an average case, what are the top and the bottom times for processing?" And he says, "Well, there is no such thing as an average case." I said, "There
mm,
must be a median. Every statistical line has a median. So you tell me the median. If you can't tell me an average, give me the median." Okay, he says, I said, "Well, you are the statistics guy. You were supposed to know this answer. I need your
mm.
answer. And if you can't, make an educated guess." So he made an educated guess and he says it should take only about 3 hours. I said, "Why am I waiting 3 years?"
Wow.
He says, "Because
Wow.
security checks take time." So you're talking about why, right? Security
Mm,
checks take time. Why?
mm,
Well, because we have to do three kinds of security checks. FBI check, this check, that check. I said, "Okay, talk about the
mm,
first check. Is that not a database query?" "Yes, it is." I said, "Database queries take 3 years to process." He goes, "No, no, they
mm,
only take uh, they take much lesser time. I said, what time do they take? He said, well, I said, minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks, minutes. I said, okay, so it's less than an hour. Okay. So if it's a less than an hour, let's narrow it down further. Is it more than 15 minutes, less than? It's like pulling teeth, right? Talking about why with the government.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Finally, it worked out.
Is your court cases live streamed? Is
Not
it
in
public?
those days. This was back in early 2000 or maybe mid 2000, somewhere there.
I
We
would
had
love
no
to
such
like
media.
watch some of your arguments.
Well, it's
It's
not an argument. It's just I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to understand what's going on.
yeah, yeah,
See, my biggest problem was every 6 months they would ask me to go and do my fingerprints again in the old days. It was 6 months. No, no, it was sorry, it was 18 months. Every 18
yeah,
months. I
yeah,
said, why do you make me come in and do my fingerprints every 18 months? He says, because we have no place to store it. I said, how difficult is it to store fingerprints? Well,
yeah.
I said, why 18 months? Why not 24 or 36 months? Or why not closer to the end of the green card process? Nobody knows the answers. So when you ask why, you are butting your head against a wall.
Mm, mm,
Just go with the flow. And if
yeah,
it's delayed too much, file a lawsuit.
yeah. Thank you, anti magic.
This is the same guy who doesn't believe in magic. I got to talk to him.
All right. What are the chances of getting H1B picked in next three attempts, depending on the number of applicants, or would you say it's pure luck? I know
It's
it's a lottery.
it's pure luck, Bala. But if you have a master's degree from USA, your chances are better than the ordinary non-master's degree people. So
Okay, can you do one liner how why master's degree students are better? Um,
okay, so the way it works is when they conduct the lottery, and please don't throw stones at me if I could be wrong. This information is from way back when I read it. So when they conduct the lottery, the first lottery is conducted only for the master's degree students with a certain number of visas. The second lottery is conducted with bachelor's and the remaining master's degree people. So the master's degree people are getting twice a shot at getting through the lottery. I think
mm,
that's the way it works. Because if I remember correctly, they first gave us the master's degree results, right? And then they give us the other results. And those other results are again bachelor's and master's combined.
mm. And so out of 85,000, 20,000 is allotted for masters,
They first do
correct?
that. First they do that quota. And then
Okay.
they do the general quota and masters again.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Cool. The H1B recapture thing, not sure if the terminology is correct. How many years after I leave USA am I allowed to apply for H1B transfer? I left in 2016.
So, Arjun, the way we read the law, and so far that's what we have seen, there is no limit. So, this is something called the remainder rule. H1B remainder rule says if you have been in the United States, even for 3 months, okay, and or 1 month or even 15 days, and then you went back to your home country, let's say India, and you've been in India for 1 year. Now you have two choices. If you want to come back, you can use what is this?
Yeah, I think
I
this
have,
is like your
okay,
hand
you know,
gesture.
I hadn't turned this feature on.
No, it by default is on, so you have to turn it off.
What a stupid feature. Okay, all right. Time time to kick out. I see. I like the Mac hardware. I think I should put Windows on Mac, uh, or
I
maybe
don't think
both.
you can. I mean, I guess you can
A
from.
lot of people do that. You know that a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
people like the hardware, so they'll take Windows and dump it on Mac. Or you can have a dual boot. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
Dual boot, I
yeah,
think, is built into Apple.
right.
So going back to what we were saying, what were we talking about?
Recapture thing, the remainder thing.
So remainder option. So you were here for 15 days, then you left. You were out for 1 year. Now you can either reset your entire 6 years and have 6 years again if you want to go through the lottery, or you can take the remainder, which is 15 days less 6 years, um, for your H1B. If you take the remainder, then there is no limit, but you can't use the time you've already used. So let's make this hypothetical more realistic. Let's say you were in the United States for 4 years. on
Mm.
H1B. Then you left. You've been out for 1 year. Okay. Total 6 years. You have the choice of not going through the lottery and getting an H1B only for 2 years remainder, or you have the choice of resetting the H1B clock and coming back for 6 years.
Mm. Mm.
And there's no time
Right.
limit on that. There's a time limit of 6 years on ordinary H1B approvals. So, for example, if you got the approval, never used the H1B, and you want to use the approval, there's a 6 years time limit. And even
Mm.
there, the question is the 6 years from the date it was approved, or the date to which it was approved? Because if an H1B was approved in, let's say, 2013, it's good till 2016. Does the 6 year begin from 2013 or 2016? So far, what I have seen is it's not written down anywhere. Government is using 2016 as the 6 year countdown.
Mm. Mm. Okay. H1B got picked and employer filed it, but it's still in the pending state. Can I switch jobs?
Well, if you switch jobs, now you are past October 1st. Um, I do not know the answer to that particular question. Okay. I would have to kind of sit down and work it out. But I, I feel that if you switch jobs and your H1B is revoked before the start date, we could have an issue. Okay. Although because you are past October 1st, this issue may not be the same. Simple answer, I do not know the answer to that question. You want to be safe, wait until the H1B is approved. You can leave the following day.
Mm. Mm. I took leave of absence, which terminated my service record with authorized early withdrawal. I haven't violated any F1 visa rules. Will my reinstatement of service go through without any issues? Ooh.
So it depends upon the reason. Normally, I mean, if you took a leave of absence and the DSO okayed it, it should be a good ground for reinstatement. But what was the reason? How well you can document it? Um, I mean, the good thing is that, like you say, you haven't violated any laws. But what was the reason you took an early withdrawal?
Mm. Mm.
If it's medical reason, I mean, that's a good reason.
My employers are mentioning that green card will be get initiated after 6 months or 1 year after joining. I'll be left with only 1 year of H1B. Should I consider switching to day one CPD?
When the time comes, I mean, it's a little too early for you to decide. So remember, Pushpant, if your I-140 gets approved within that 1 year, which is possible, then you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is it difficult for US green card? Is it difficult for a US green card? Should I choose Canada over the US for the ease of PR and citizenship? Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if it's a backup option you're thinking of, but ultimate goal is always to come to USA. I don't see any harm in having that as a backup option. By the way, I did speak with a couple of people who said they were finding it difficult to find jobs in Canada. So
Hmm.
people who went on that open EAD scheme, open work authorization,
Hmm.
difficulty getting jobs in Canada.
Interesting. I,
We
I
have
wonder if it is just like right now the tech market is hard
well,
versus.
Canada has always lagged behind USA in economy, as far as I know. I mean, I'm not an economist, but just by general data or general knowledge that I know, Canada has always been the little brother of USA, never the equal or the big brother.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
ask Modi ji, he'll tell you whether you should go to Canada.
He just needs to come and it'll be approved. All right. H1B filed for my friend for a change of location from California to Texas. His California petition and visa is valid till September 2024. Can he travel to
Yeah,
India?
yeah, absolutely. Just double check with the lawyers what papers they want you to carry, but it's absolutely no problem.
Okay. And this guy is on H1B. Am I allowed to switch job once he's in US? If
Yeah,
yes, how long do I have to wait?
you don't have to wait. If you have a better option somewhere, You can apply the next day after you enter.
So it sounds like company in India filed his H1B, got it
And
approved,
they're
came
sending
to
it.
USA, yeah, and then he can switch whenever he gets it. Okay, nice. I got selected in second lottery in H1B, but later on found out that company filed registration through two companies
Right.
having common ownership, so I opted for not to apply for a petition. Uh, will this impact study tourist visa application during visa interview in the US consulate?
No, it's not likely to come up. Look, Rajan, these days, information is easier to manage than it used to be. Okay. You don't have to shuffle through files. You
Hmm.
just have to click one button on your dashboard, and there's a SQL query that gives you the answer in less than 10 seconds, especially if the database is normalized, right? So, therefore, if the government wants to make an issue of it, they could forever, never, never, never. But there are hundreds of thousands of people in this situation. I doubt very much that the government is going to carry a grudge against you uh,
Hmm.
forever and ever, never, never. They can theoretically, but I don't think they will. That's my guess.
I'm pursuing pilot training in Miami, USA, parallel to master's degree under F1 visa, and the flight school promised up to 5 US airline pilot interviews. Is there any possibilities for
No,
post work visa?
no. So if you are here on M1 visa, I think there is some practical training allowed. Um, but if you are on F1 and your field of study is different than piloting an airplane, I don't see how you would get a work authorization.
Hmm. Okay. I'm working in Germany and expected to have German passport in 2 years, and I want to move to US on F1. I would like to know, is it work? Is it
No.
work to?
Okay, Chandu, it is your country of birth that ties you to the waiting times in green card. It is not your country of citizenship. So if you become a citizen of Canada, Australia, um, Switzerland, you are still tied to India because you were born in India. That was your biggest mistake. Don't do that again.
Uh, I love the name Zaira. It's a very nice name. As current wait time for EB2 and EB3, is it better to go for PhD and then for EB1B? Is it easier for PhD holder to get green card, India born?
If I were you, Zahira, what I would be doing is I would get my green card started so at least I can get the I-140 approved. Okay. And then whatever you want to do, PhD, because now you already have a priority date. So if you finish your PhD and you're eligible for EB1B, then your old priority date will be transferred to your EB1B case. So things will become a lot easier. So I don't know if that is a part of your plan, but that's something to consider.
Hmm, interesting. H1B petition was revoked in early August. It became effective. Having pending STEM extension with a different employer, have STEM I-20 from October 1st. Currently in India, waiting for US withdrawal
Okay,
notice.
so what is the question, Jaya?
Jaya, Jaya, Jaya. Don't see Jaya.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. Um, my DSO said my F1 record is complete, and attorney said to leave US as I would be out of status. Currently waiting for, yeah, not sure what the question is. Also, I just noticed we are at time, so let's take quick couple questions. I'm in cybersecurity, just got done with my master's and doing really well on the job. In the assumption that I won't get H1B on 3 attempts.
Why did I not get those?
I don't know what is the gesture. Like there is like a just do this. Like maybe it will do hearts.
I have never done that.
No, no, no. That is not hard. Like how is this hard? That's a see.
Okay, got it.
Your heart is like a butt.
I don't do crap like this, man.
It's this. Now there is a
Oh,
new
got it.
yeah.
All right.
There we go.
I have to turn this thing off. I can imagine I'm in the middle of a conference with people and this comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, there is like something like that as well, and it will throw the balloons or something like that. But yeah, you have to see the gestures. Yeah, it's set up. So it is a happy hour for good jokes by Rajiv ji. Hopefully, they are with their happy hour drink. All right, I think that was it. Someone is sending the question in Hindi.
आई रीड हिंदी भारत के लोग अमेरिका में जाके पैसा बर्बाद कर रहे हैं भारत के लोग अमेरिका में जाके पैसा बर्बाद कर रहे हैं
Oh.
ठीक है सर
Okay. I have B1 visa. I've received in 2015, valid for 10 years, but my Indian passport expired this year. Can Indian passport?
दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम रे साहब व्हाट यू विल डू इज व्हेन यू गेट द न्यू पासपोर्ट they'll give you the old passport also which has the visa stamp. So you, when you travel, carry both passports. The visa will be on the old passport, and the new passport will be the new passport. So you can carry both of them together.
Hmm. All right. And she's back. I would like to know how long will USCIS take to get the status to show it is withdrawn
Yeah,
currently?
yeah, that has been a very big problem because SEVIP won't restore your service until they get electronic notification that your case has been withdrawn. And the case withdrawals were taking many months. If you listen to our last week's discussion or go to immigration.com and read the frequently asked questions, that's our website, immigration.com. We've discussed this issue many times and what students should do when they are stuck in this situation.
Hmm. Okay. One last question before we call it. My US visa was rejected twice, but I don't know the reason for my rejection. I asked US officer, but she didn't disclose the reason. How will this impact my third visa interview?
Because we don't know what the problem is, we can't predict what the outcome next time will be. So it's very difficult for us to tell you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Any words of wisdom on stoicism today? Because
Stoicism.
people
Hmm.
loved.
Well, Stoics make a lot of sense. Um, Remember, I told you about the Stoic general who was going into a big battle.
Hmm.
And he was asked this question: General, you're going into this big battle, and there's a high likelihood you would die because the other side forces are much larger than yours. And what do you think? What is your attitude at this time? He said, well, if I go into battle, I would either die or I would either live or live. Right now, it's time for my lunch. I'm going to go eat lunch. So the moral is that deal with the problem that's right here. Don't create problems in
Hmm.
your head. It'll happen the way it'll happen. People
Hmm.
worry about their health. People worry about losing jobs. Some of that is understandable. But in the ultimate analysis, all you can do is deal with the problem that's right here. Eat your
Hmm.
lunch first and then worry about whether you live or die. Right?
Hmm. Yeah. Like
Stoics,
it.
smart people.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like me and you. No, just kidding. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care,
And
guys. I can't know where my hands are. Bye.
bye. Bye. All right. See you guys.